Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Latta, not to beat that subject, can my staff exchange contact data with your staff so that we can communicate directly regarding delays for trusted traveler applications and TWIC cards, et cetera? You answered the question very well, but can our staff exchange data? Okay, we'll do that at this hearing. Admiral Arguin, I have a couple of questions for you, sir. And I'm going to touch on something in the 2017 and 18 time frame in South Louisiana. We had reports of a gentleman in a Coast Guard jacket duck hunting in a kayak. Would that have been you? Potentially that was you, sir. We may have further questions for you on that topic. So on security for our ports, it's really an evolving challenge, and we have to stay ahead of some of these threats, and the heightened awareness is, I believe, the beginning of, as they say, chance favors the prepared mind, and we were made aware of a particular threat in South Louisiana recently. Two men from New York City of Russian nationals, Russian descent, rented a car in Miami, were arrested in South Louisiana flying very advanced drone systems over a chemical plant. And that investigation was initiated by the St. Charles Parish Sheriff's Office. They had very advanced technologies with them, and they were arrested. The investigation revealed that drone had flown extensively over two other chemical plants prior to their arrest, which was the third chemical plant. Their bond was set that the judge thought was high, it was $100,000. They posted their bond, they're gone. February. The FBI is working on a case, but the point is, this threat is out there. So, Admiral and Mr. Goldstein may have something to add here, and I'm happy to yield my remaining couple of minutes of time because it's an important answer. What is the Coast Guard doing to work with your colleagues at, say, CISA and the FBI and at the federal level and working in close relation with local law enforcement? What is the Coast Guard doing to secure our ports against the next generation of threat, including like the one I just described? And I yield.
Congressman, at the local level, the sector commander, captain of the port, engages with local port partners, parish law enforcement, and their regional coordinating mechanism through either the FBI or other law enforcement entities. And clearly, any anomalous activity, whether it's an unmanned system or somebody that may be just not doing things that we think are appropriate around a critical infrastructure, that information needs to get to us, to law enforcement, in a fast way so that we can investigate. Current capabilities within the Coast Guard to specifically address drones over critical infrastructure is limited by authority that is authorized by the Secretary to be able to take specific action, and that's not organic capability that is at the local sector level. Our maritime security forces have a counter-UAS capability, but that requires specific authorization. And so our ability to counter...
Do you have, let me just interject, Admiral, do you have the authority at the field level to make aggressive law enforcement decisions like seizing technology, the likes of which I just described?
Congressman, we have the ability to engage our partners to be able to investigate when those anomalous activities are happening, but as far as physical capabilities at the organic level, at the sector, those capabilities do not exist.
Well, I believe that should be our task to address that as Congress, to make sure you have the necessary authority and that the laws are written to allow you to exercise that authority, and you have the the technology required to protect our ports. So my time has expired, Mr. Chairman. I yield. Thank you for the time for additional question, Madam Chair. Mr. Goldstein, to clarify for America, CISA has authority regarding cybersecurity in our ports, correct?
Sir, CISA has broad authority to
Okay.
provide cybersecurity assistance across sectors. Yes,
That's
sir.
where I'm going. So the Port of Lake Charles, for instance, in my district, is a hub of the energy export sector of the entire country, including LNG and petrochemical products, and the coordinated effort between many private entities sort of intersect there in the port environment. But you could have scores of business entities that are involved in that operation that intersect right there. Pipelines, utilities, transport, the port itself, chemicals. There's many, many layers of operators there. Any one of them could have some random employee that works in their IT department detect a threat in the dead of night. They don't stop working. They work 24/7, 365. So are you accessible? Like, what is the communications system at 2 o'clock in the morning on a holiday weekend, a Saturday night, if I'm an IT worker at a pipeline and I detect a cyber threat? How
Yes.
do I reach you?
Yes, sir, absolutely. Let me give two answers. The first to your question, sir, is we have a 24/7 watch floor. It is called CISA Central. It is manned around the clock, and so organizations across the country can report a cyber incident and get a response at any time. I will also add, sir, we have regional cybersecurity experts, including in and around your district, whose role it is to build these deep relationships with operators of critical infrastructure across sectors, so that not only can we help to build resilience before an incident occurs, but when something happens, they have somebody in the area who they know and trust.
Is that by telephone or by email?
So, sir, for CISA Central, it can be reached by phone, by email, or by an online report.
So if I'm an IT employee in a pipeline and I feel strongly enough about a threat, I'd be able to talk to a human being at CISA on a telephone in the dead of night on a weekend.
Yes, sir.
To help walk me through what the next step is on responding to this threat.
Yes, sir.
That's reassuring. Thank you for that answer, Madam Chair. Appreciate the additional time, and I yield.